Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wholehearted Living with
Valerie
and Bennie.
We are the sibling team, duo, couple.
That's awkward.
I'm trying to think of all the twos.
Yeah, the dyad.
That decided to do a podcast because we felt like we were really honestly on the same path of wholehearted living.
Wholehearted living.
So
it's
one
true.
of us brings a topic and the other one doesn't know about it, and we chat. And we sometimes make fun of each other and laugh, and sometimes a tear might be shed.
Wow. It's true.
Or you might find poop in a toilet.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I did actually go to the bathroom the other day and I thought, I wonder if I should send this to Valerie.
Do you remember in Big Bear when Nicole said, I ran up to you and said, look, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to see my niece's poop.
Yes.
Because Nicole was going to send me that.
No, that was like the craziest thing. I still can't believe we're even talking about it right now.
I know. Get off the subject already.
Yeah,
Come on.
let alone. Hey, and we have Iggy who keeps us in sound.
That's right.
Hello.
That is right.
Hello, Iggy.
I am here.
You
He
are
doesn't
here.
sometimes keep us in video, though.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I made sure the video is recording this time.
Yeah, well, we're going to withdraw pay for this week's episode. So there you go. But thank you, Iggy. We really do thank you for all of your work because I think you do the hard part.
Everything. He does it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to listen to us, too.
I know. Twice, I know, because then he listens to it later. Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
How was your Thanksgiving?
actually, it was good. I say that like that
I know,
because,
actually.
well, the reason why I say it is because I'm always thinking about school. I've talked about this forever, right? And what I did was I did all my job. I did everything Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I squished all my clients together. It was a difficult Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But then after having done that, I also did all of my work for my jobs, did all the paperwork, everything. And I didn't do any schoolwork, nothing from Thursday through Sunday.
Isn't that the best?
It was so nice.
Yeah.
And it was weird, actually. I kind of felt guilty at times. Like, am I supposed to be doing something? And I thought, I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chill. And it was super nice. Thanksgiving itself was fun. My in-laws were here. So Gary and Carla were here. And that's, having in-laws, even in-laws you love, or having people in your home is different. So that's all there is to it.
That is true.
So while it was fun, there were, it was like, it's one of those things when you finally have your house to yourself again, you go,
Yes.
this is kind of nice.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we had a good time. We did some fun things. Thanksgiving, I made a ham because nobody in my family except for me, I think, likes turkey. I don't think.
Oh my God.
Oh, I guess Trinity likes turkey, and I forgot that. So,
That was a very, very...
yeah, either that or God likes it, and she was just reminding me. But anyway, you like turkey, Trent? Really?
The dark meat, yes.
Oh,
I
the
don't
dark
like
meat.
ham. I do.
Oh,
It's
really?
too salty.
I agree. I think it's salty, but
Yeah.
I will say my ham was very good. It would. I think it's saltier the second time around, but the first time it was. I thought it was really good. I smoked it, and it. I thought it had a really good flavor. As a matter of fact, a lot of people told me that they really like the ham. They didn't say so much about the turkey. That was Stephanie's. Oh, she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Well, turkeys
Watch her
are...
listen to this one.
I know this is the one that she's going to listen to.
Turkeys are hit and miss because if you don't do them right, they're going to be really dry, especially the white meat. We actually had, because I'm glad you asked how my Thanksgiving was, but we actually had...
Hey, Valerie, how was your Thanksgiving?
We actually had a good Thanksgiving. We always go to my sister-in-law Kelly's house.
Enough
and
said.
Scott and Scott builds a table for according to how many people will be there. So it's huge. It's huge.
He does. He
Literally.
rebuilds it over and over.
Depending on how many people are there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So,
Wow, he's got time on his hands, doesn't he?
well, he's retired, but this guy does nothing but do things. Like he never has.
Did she just say this guy does nothing but do things?
This guy does nothing but do things. Like he doesn't have.
She repeated it with emphasis to make sure we understood.
Am I not?
Hey,
Am I saying it wrong?
yes. This guy does nothing but do things. That's contradictory.
Oh well, isn't that a thing? Like this, like I do nothing but.
But do things.
Okay, this guy never has idle time.
There
he's
you go.
always
This guy-
doing
yes.
something.
That's,
Finding
I
something
think what you
to
did was
do.
like an irregardless.
Yes,
you
there's
can't
no
do
word.
it. Yeah,
There's no
you can't
word.
do that. Yeah.
Anyway, what I was going to say was, while we always do like the whole, everybody goes around the table saying what they're thankful for, and then somewhere in the middle of eating, somebody decides to take the napkin ring holder, the ring, and toss it onto candles. And then there's this big thing, the 2 candlesticks that are in the middle of the table. We start tossing it and seeing who can make the ring around the candle.
Like a carnival.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow,
But
you sound
Scott,
surprised.
So Scott decided instead of tossing these metal rings, he bought these little plastic rings so that we could all just start tossing these plastic rings. Well, people are playing and they're throwing and no one's making them. No one's making them. I picked one up and I threw it and it landed right on that candle. First try.
Thank you,
I
Dixie
was
Chicks.
so excited. And then, they're like, oh, try it again. I'm like, no, that was one and done.
That's right.
I'm just
It's like
ending on
it's like the next time you hit a hole in one when you golf. That's when you retire from
Exactly.
golfing,
Yes,
and you say,
exactly.
"The last time I played." No.
Yeah. But on to the turkey part. I do love turkey. I don't like ham. But what Peter does, because if it's at Kelly's house, we don't have leftovers. So he always makes a fried turkey right after Thanksgiving. So we have turkey around the house.
Yeah.
And so he deep fried 2 of them this time because we took some to our community group on Sunday night. And that once you have fried turkey, you don't go back to regular turkey.
Oh.
It's amazing.
Well, I heard this. I will say this. I've smoked some pretty damn good turkeys.
I imagine smoke is probably good
Isn't
too,
mine
'cause
good?
it's a
Yeah. Mine are good. But I've never had one. I told Peter this the other day because he was telling me that he did this, and I was like, I would love to have or try it one time. And then I didn't even think about the fact that they don't have to be very big turkeys. Like we have that big thing right there, and we could probably do it in that thing. And if it's a small
yeah, his said don't do over 15 or 18 pounds, but we needed to serve like 20 people, so we did 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
But,
very
yeah,
fun.
super good. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, we left early, and I don't know. I was just ready.
Do I have a hair? What's going on right here?
You have a whole head of hair.
There's something like tickling me, and I keep doing this, and it's so annoying. Do I have a hair right here? No? Okay, never mind.
Be sure and keep that in, Iggy, because all the video,
know what's
everybody wants to
happening.
see this.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think we should keep talking about that hair.
Well, you know what's funny that you said you left early? You can elaborate on that, but it was weird. Everybody ate dinner. Dessert was served immediately. Then somebody said, okay, well, we're going to head out. And then eventually everybody head out. We left like by 5:30, which is so early.
When
Like,
is the ring toss?
that was like during dinner, like
Oh.
3:30 or 4.
Wow, very informal.
So it was very early, and we were home, and wow, we're home already.
Yeah, well, we were the only ones that left kind of early, but we had my in-laws, and honestly, I can't blame them. And then on the other hand, you could clearly see that they were tired and ready and hurting and all that. And I was just like, oh, it's painful to watch. So
Yeah.
they come from, we've talked about,
Right.
different kinds of family, but, and we are definitely loud, right? And so I think they were dying.
Yeah.
So
They're like, this is enough.
yeah, this is enough. Iggy's used to quiet too, though, but I think you've gotten used to us, right?
He's not used to quiet, actually.
Oh, you're not used to quiet?
What?
Iggy's looking at me like he's going to beat me. So,
I feel like he's gotten used to the whole Gonzalez.
have you
clan.
gotten used to us?
He lives with me.
Okay, I'm talking to him.
I know.
You're off mic.
Trinity, what are you doing? Just
think it
because
was-
you're engaged.
Because I remember the first time I came over, Trinity asked me if, like, how loud it was like
Acceptable.
or like if it was weird. And I was like, well, if I'm around my extended family, like all the cousins, uncles, and all that, that's how we are.
Mm.
So it's not new.
Yeah. And they're speaking a foreign language at the same time.
True.
foreign to you.
I know, I'm kidding. It's his native language. I'm kidding.
I had to think about it for a
I
second.
know. He's like,
No, it's interesting because so many people come into our family and are like, oh my goodness, really?
yeah.
Yeah. So that's happened many times. So, and then I'll never forget. Do you remember? Oh no, I'm going to share this for our Christmas episode. Remind me. It's a story about Patty.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Can't wait.
okay. It's your turn.
It is. It's my topic. And we've talked about this last year, but I'm going to bring it up again because I already hear people like stirring. The conversations are stirring. So I will ask you once again, let me see if you can see my notes. Look at me with my paper and pen. And I think I asked you this last year, but even if I did, I want to know again. Do you make resolutions or goals?
Goals.
As we're approaching the new year. You do make goals.
Well, I don't know if I do it for the new year, to be honest with you. I just set goals in general.
But you're not like, okay, January 1st, this is a goal, or like for the year or this month, or
I don't do that because my mindset is if I have a goal, then I don't care if it's January 1st or
Right.
December 4th or whatever.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
And I feel that way too. Like, a lot of people, even just with like working out or diets, are like, I'm going to start on Monday. And it's like, well, why wait till Monday if you can start Thursday?
Right.
And
What's going to change?
Yeah.
What's the magical thing that's
Yeah.
all of a sudden going to change? So I would say, I mean, I don't know. So I guess I don't have resolutions per se, but I think there are certain times that are great to review like your life goals and what you're doing. And so like the fall is often a good one. The spring is a good one. And January is a good one. But in terms of resolutions, I'm not I don't know if I want to say I'm not a big fan if it motivates you, but I would say 90% of the people that are thinking somehow magically this is going to give them the motivation.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
So
Like new year, new me.
yeah, exactly. I don't think that.
Well, I
is
mean,
the
and
case.
that you saying that reminds me of one of the points I was going to make is because a lot of people do set a goal or a resolution come January 1st, but a lot of times as time goes on, as we know, by March you're done. You're like, oh,
by March, by January, by February. I think for a lot of people.
yeah, that's so
By
true.
January 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that it's something to keep in mind that if you do set something, if you're going to decide to set something for January 1st, that it's okay in February or March to say, you know what, I'm going to shift that goal a little bit to be this instead, or modify it, or change it completely because it's not whatever. I feel like some people are so headstrong on the goal that it's either all or nothing. Like it's like, okay, well, I failed that, so I'm done. That's out the window now. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I think I told you guys, I said I was going to get a pull-up this year.
Yeah.
And that was one of my goals for 2024.
Yep.
And around August, I kind of gave up because of my frozen shoulder. It wasn't allowing me to still hang completely from a bar. And I was like, I'm never going to get this. I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to do it anymore. And so I did give up. And around October, I thought, okay, let me just see what I got. Let me just see, because I've been doing other things to strengthen my
Right.
push and all that stuff. And so I was like, oh, I'm actually kind of getting up there. And so the problem is I still can't completely hang. So it's not a full pull up from a hanging position. I'm still on a box and I'm still extended, but to get my arm completely hung is weird. It hurts. So anyway, all that to say, it was like, okay, I gave up on that goal. But then in October, I said, no, I'm going to try to get that goal. And I did. I did end up getting
Didn't you do more than one?
I did 2.
Yeah.
And I could kind of maybe get 3 if I barely get the chin up. But it's still a real big struggle. I tried it again today and going, oh my gosh, I can still only do 2. I wanted to do 10 by today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I did give up on that. And so, but what I wanted to really point out was like, I think a lot of people go into making goals and resolutions saying they're not attainable or sustainable. So you're saying to yourself, I'm going to read 50 books this year,
Yeah.
which a lot of people do. But
Right.
so I'm not saying that can't be done. But then, you're coming around October, November, and you're going, oh man, I only read 28, and it's like, but that's okay. You read 28 books. You know what I mean? We can't make it like an all or nothing thing. I'm going to lose 100 pounds this year. Is that really attainable? And are you going to be able to sustain that goal by practicing whatever it is that's going to allow you to lose that weight? So I guess my whole thing is, set goals for yourself. It doesn't have to be January 1st, but set goals for yourself, but make sure they are attainable and that you can sustain them. Like it's not a...
What have you heard of SMART goals?
No, it's a goal that's really, really smart.
Yeah, it's a goal. It's like got a high IQ. A SMART goal is
It's an acronym, right?
Yeah, it's an acronym that means something. So can you look
Are
it
you
up,
looking it
Iggy?
up?
Because one of the things that you're talking about. Go ahead, Iggy. Read them off.
SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Yeah.
Oh, so see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And
So yeah, so a SMART goal is a specific goal. So you set a specific goal and then measurable, because you don't want to just say I'm going to lose weight. Because if you just say I'm going to lose weight, then like if you lost a half a pound, then you succeeded, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I guess is better than nothing, but it's not really totally a goal, right? What was the third one? SMART A. Achievable.
Specific,
so that's
measurable, achievable.
Achievable is like, don't do, I'm going to lose 150 pounds by tomorrow.
Right.
And all those things. But one of the things that I was going to say is I read this book by a coach and I thought it was fascinating because what he did with his team, and I don't remember the book and I don't remember the individual. I don't remember anything. I just remember the book and in general, what they talked about. Iggy, you might remember because it was about basketball, but it was a coach who basically said, instead of saying we're going to get better as a team in defense or we're going to get better as an offense, what he said was he did metrics and he measured like how many, I'm going to make it up because I don't remember, how many rebounds that they had. And then what he said is we're going to get 1% better this month on rebounds. And then next month we're going to get 2. Do you know this?
I don't remember who the coach is or what the book is, but I know the story. It was tipped passes. They had to count how many passes they tipped.
Yeah. And so but then he started breaking it down because like, let's just say it was passes, but then the next time it's rebounds, the next times it was steals, the next times and the idea was let's just get a little bit better.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yes.
Let's just keep getting a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's measure it. Let's make sure that we know that we're actually succeeding. Let's not get down on ourselves when we don't. Let's just really strive for it. And what it did was it made it so the whole team could focus on certain achievements, look at it, celebrate the achievement, and within a year that team was in the playoffs.
Right.
And before they were horrible.
Right.
I don't remember what team it was, but it was.
Well, I mean, I think I just did an Instagram thing about it last week or something about, I can't say, oh, I'm going to be this much better in 6 months, but if I try to do better each day, it adds up.
Right.
It was like, I just sent this to Dustin, speaking of basketball, I just sent this to him I think a week or 2 ago, and I heard Kobe Bryant, which I didn't know he was such a great speaker prior to him dying. I had no idea.
That's the whole Mamba mentality.
Well, Dustin has that tattoo, Mamba mentality, and I was like, what's that about? And then he explained it all to me. So just a couple weeks ago, I heard Kobe, this little speech that he was giving, and I sent it to him, and he goes, yeah, Mamba mentality. And I was like, that's just amazing. And that's exactly what he was just talking about. Like, baby stepping your way to success, no matter what it is, success in your job or your health or whatever.
Or playing the piano or playing the guitar or whatever it is that you want, learning a new language.
A daily practice of trying to be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
And so, and it adds up. And
For sure.
so that's huge. And that's kind of like, I mean, I know that's falling short of what I'm talking about in terms of like goals for resolutions and stuff like that. But I think so many people go into a resolution as this like, grandioso thing that January 1st, I'm going to start this and then I'm not going to do that or whatever. And it's like, it can just minute little changes daily to.
Well, and I think the other thing about big grand resolutions, when you make a grand resolution and you say, this is what I'm going to do this year, is you set yourself up for shame. And a lot of people end up feeling shameful because they don't achieve their goal. And then what ends up happening is they tell their brain and their brain feels shame and then they spiral and then they start to spiral and they think I can't achieve anything. And the brain can only understand what you're telling it. And so it keeps hearing, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And the whole thing just gets worse and worse and worse. Whereas that's the reason why what I like about that coach is a little bit of success.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, we're doing
It's
something. It was only
positive.
1% better.
Yeah.
But it's like that 1%, when you realize that that 1%, now we're going to do it again for another percent. Now, the next thing you know, in a few months, you're 3, 4, or 5% better.
Well, along with the shame, it puts stress on your body. And so when you talk about like all the stress that can happen, or all the negative things that happen when you're under stress, then you're like you said, you're feeling shameful. And then you're really, really physically probably not doing well, because that stress on your body creates so much havoc. Like you're talking, if one of your goals was to lose weight, we're talking when your body's under stress, you're not losing weight.
No,
it's not.
And well, and then you're
probably gaining weight.
Your shame usually makes you isolate. It often makes you angry. It makes you frustrated,
depressed.
and then depressed. And what do you do when you're depressed? Well, if you're struggling with eating, you go to the fridge.
Yeah.
Because you're going, that makes me feel good. I get an immediate, hit from the ice cream.
And
That's
it also
Bennie
changes
talking
for
to
a lot
Bennie.
of, well, no, but it also, the stress, and it can change in hormones. So then you're, especially like for women, when you're thinking about like, all of a sudden your cortisol rises and there's just so many things. So making a goal is usually, or a resolution is usually a positive thing for most people, but you got to take it worth, I hate saying worth a grain of salt, but you got to take it lightheartedly, to where making those little tiny baby steps, so you don't eat yourself up for not accomplishing a goal. Or midway, when in August-ish, it was like right around in the summertime, when I'm like, I'm not going to be able to get this pull up. I'm just not. It's not going to happen. My body's not allowing me to do it. But at the same time, I didn't beat myself up about it, because I honestly thought it probably isn't doable, because I can't, physically not possible. Yeah.
Right.
And I just let it go. And I'm like, do I really honestly need to do a pull-up when I boils down, is that going to really make my life better to do a pull-up? So,
well, you're bringing up something that I was thinking about when you were talking about that, but then we kind of went in a different direction. Another thing is, you really have to ask yourself, what's the real reason for the pull-up? So what's the real reason? Well, maybe you're saying, maybe for you, it's just literally, I want to do one. But for most people, if they're wanting to do a pull-up, it's because they're like thinking, I want to be healthy enough to be able to do that. Well, you are healthy. And so it's kind of like, well, that's like a bonus thing, but it's not like no one's going to go, oh, well, Valerie's really not that healthy. She can't do a pull-up. You know what I mean? So maybe there is a modification that has to be made. I know for me, I'm never going to be 145 pounds. I'm just not going to be that. I don't know that I want to be that. It's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
So maybe, I look at, some of the, the big time actors. I know it's so bizarre that I do this, but you look at them and you go, holy cow, the TV puts on 10 pounds. And I'm thinking, and
how
they
many
still look,
TVs on?
yeah, for me, it's like, there's that whole Tommy Boy thing. It's like, how many cameras you got on you? Because it's like, but I look at them and they're tiny.
Yeah.
They're just these tiny people. And I'm like, oh my gosh. There's a part of me that says I want to be like that. And then there's another part of me that says, nah, I'm okay with being a Patrick Mahomes body. If you've ever seen him, he's got a dad bod.
Yeah.
And he says that, and yet he's a professional athlete, and most would consider I would say, the best current quarterback that is out there. And yet he doesn't look perfect. And so I just go, okay, I just want to be healthy. I want to know that I'm eating healthy to the best of my ability, and I want to do, and so set certain goals like that, because it's unrealistic for me to say I'm going to have a 6-pack.
Right.
I do have a 6-pack. It's just under a cake.
Under the cake. Yeah.
So that's the problem. So, yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's, well, I just think that as I'm hearing people talk about it, there's some people were talking about it at work, and they were just going, yeah, my New Year's resolution is this, as they're eating off of our, we had a potluck thing, you know, and and it's kind of like, just, I mean, okay, that's great if that's what you have in your mind, but I mean, you could technically, there are a lot of options right here to start
now.
Just making improvements right
Yeah,
now.
there's no reason why
know?
you can't do this right now. Yeah, for sure.
But just to like for the listener out there who is thinking, what is going to be my resolution this year? Sometimes you don't have to do a resolution. I think we talked about this. You can pick a word. And you know what? I picked a word last year and I completely forgot about the word.
Me too.
So one of my things is I'm going to pick a word for my year and I'm going to put it in my phone and my calendar and I'm going to have it alert me like once a week or once a month what my word is, just to refresh my memory on why I picked the word and have that, just as a reminder.
You're making me look for my word.
Oh, but anyway, yeah. So here what I was going to say for people that want to set goals or resolutions, just to be realistic with the goal. That SMART thing is awesome. I need to get that acronym. Be kind to yourself through it all, because sometimes you're not going to accomplish it and you're not going to make the strides that you want to as quickly as you want to. Practice self-care. We talk about self-care a lot. Take time off to pause the goal. So maybe you are frustrated because you're not making way with the goal. Maybe whatever the goal is, it's okay to pause it. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be in the forefront of your mind every single day. Just remind yourself maybe in a month or whatever, couple weeks, what your goal was, so that you can, do I want to get back into that, or do I want to change it? Do I want to modify it somehow? And approach the goal in a positive way, not in a negative way, which is something we just kind of touched on. Like, no, oh yeah, that's right, I have that goal, so I have to work on that. It's like, you got to have a positive mindset or it's not really beneficial.
Yeah. And if you're really going to have a goal, whatever that goal may be, you almost always have to break it down into smaller ones. So in other words, if you say, I hope to lose, let's be realistic, 30 pounds, and you say, I want to lose 30 pounds, then say, okay, in the first month, I want to lose 5, or whatever it is. And you kind of break it down like that, rather than say, because otherwise you're going to get frustrated, because you're going to think you need that 30 pounds by March, like we said, and you're at 10 pounds and you're like, oh, forget it. This is too hard.
And when you really think about it, 30 pounds is a lot of weight. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it really is. And if you lose 30, I know some people are going to be like, oh man, I don't want it to take me a year. But if you lose 30 pounds in a year, that is a lot. That's 3 sizes. And so, you definitely do have to be realistic about, if we're talking specific about weight loss, because you want it to also stay off.
Yeah.
So if you do lose that 30 pounds in 2 months, it's probably going to creep back on, because that's quick.
But there could be a gazillion goals that you might have, like playing the guitar. I've heard people, or playing the piano, or learning a language. What other ones are there? Maybe changing, maybe you've thought about a career change, or going for that promotion, or whatever. I mean, in other words, we often talk about food and working out, but the truth is that there's a gazillion different kind of resolutions. You might maybe getting a relationship because you've been single for 150 years and now you're ready to get back in the pool.
I just think, like, even just goals of talking kindly to yourself, like saying one positive thing to yourself a day, right?
Yeah, for sure. And rather than saying I suck every single day, or getting to know your neighbors. I'm just throwing some in there that I think would be great for the world if we knew our neighbor's name. That would be kind of nice.
I know our neighbor's name.
No, you don't. You're a liar.
It's Stefania. It rhymes with lasagna. That's what she says when she introduced herself.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What's the husband's name?
Bob. It rhymes with cob.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. But
Okay.
anyway, so
Well, that was good.
So that's creeping up on us. I mean, I don't want December to go that fast. I want to enjoy. I love this holiday season. I love everything about the hustle, the bustle, the family time, and we'll be making tamales this weekend. And so I don't want December to fly by, but I already hear the buzz of like, okay, January 1st, I'm going to start, So I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I haven't even been thinking about January yet.
I haven't either. I was kind of surprised people were talking about it, actually.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But well, all right. Well, thank you. So people, go for it. This year, set some goals, and realistic goals, SMART goals. What are they again? Iggy, do you have it there?
Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
I love
Time
that.
bound. And time bound is good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because otherwise you can have a goal.
Time bound or balanced?
Bound.
Oh, I like it.
Meaning like,
You have a deadline.
yeah, so it's like this year. And
Yeah.
so whatever it might be. So cool beans.
Alrighty.
Well, cool beans. That's a new saying, kiddos.
Oh my God. You know what? Have you guys ever seen Notting Hill?
You're joking. We went to Notting Hill.
Oh, that's right. So you know how she says whoopsie daisies?
Yeah.
Or he says
whoopsie daisies.
Well, I say that all the time. And
No,
every
you
time
don't. I've never heard you say it.
always. And
says it all the
always. And Peter will say, "Oh, only little girls with ponytails say that," or
Yeah.
whatever. So just in the classroom, I've said it a couple times in the classroom, and the teacher just dies laughing. And then finally today, I'm like, "Why is it?" Because I did it again. I was like doing something. I go, "Whoopsie daisies!" She just died, and she looked at me. She goes, "I'm sorry. Every time you say it, I just laugh because it reminds me of Notting Hill." And then we just started busting up. That was such a stupid
We actually
story.
went to Notting Hill. I have a pair of Birkenstocks from Notting Hill. This is very important information.
I know. I think my story was better.
Actually, it was. Whoopsie daisies. And you say it all the time. You know, we have like 60 podcasts now. I've never heard you say it.
I said it in big part. Yeah, I do. I mean, I have to be doing something. Like, what am I going to
Wow.
say? Like, oh, whoopsie daisies.
Oh, gosh.
That was
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. Touche.
Yes. All right, you guys. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yes. Thank you for joining us.
And we will see you next week.
No, not just
Oh.
that. We're
Oh,
at
I-
wholehearted_living_podcast. And so
I
please
actually-
watch us on YouTube and listen to us on that other thing,
Spotify.
And yeah, I guess I'm done talking. Sorry.
All right. Well, we will see you next week then.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Ciao.